Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. I am thinking that everybody else, would be receiving me loud and clear. So, welcome to another session of academic writing. This afternoon, I will be continuing what we had started, uh, Yasir and I, to do with formal writing. So once we do formal writing, there will be other components of academic writing that we will actually uh, try to introduce you to. So let us take a look at the screen. I wonder if you can if you can see the screen now. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Like the last session, I think there probably will be some short exercises and some of the things that I might ask you to do, and not always, it probably will be a good idea for you to have a word or two also sometime, rather than always, writing something on the chat box. Okay. Right. Let's see. Now, subtitle says exactly what it is written under that section. So this means that when you write something, let us say something like you're writing an essay, and then you're writing something like um, inequality or something, right? That's probably be the main title, inequality, and under which you're going to be writing types of inequality. So let us say that what are the types of inequality that you can think of? And it might be quite a lot of possibilities there. What are the points that you can raise regarding inequality? Inequality in the workplace, of course, we are talking about. If you think about inequality in the workplace, now, of course, people will be speaking about there's a lot of differences between male and female. So that means that's called gender inequality. So in academic writing style, we don't say men and women, we say gender inequalities, right? Yeah. And that's one type of inequality. And of course, there might be something called with something to do with age inequality, and ethnic differences. So all of those things will actually come under the main heading of inequality. So that's what it means by using subtitles well, because the reader, when he or she opens your paper or your assignment, takes a look through, trying to actually browse through your article, they may find that, oh my God, no, this is a long article. There are no subheadings. You can't actually make out what these paragraphs are. So in that case, that person will think, well, okay, it might be a good article, but I don't think I'm going to be reading it. So this can happen. So one of the things that you can do is use a set of section titles to keep the reader follow the article easily. Because if you have A, B, C, D, and E and all that, right, sections, um, make it different so that they will know that you've read the first paragraph. The first paragraph is about this, and the second paragraph is about that, and so on and so forth. So the subtitle will actually introduce you to the paragraph. So when you're writing your articles, depending on whatever genre you're taking up, make sure that you follow the guidelines. And if you find it difficult or if you have any doubts, please call us. We are at your disposal. Make sure that you contact us either in writing or just make a phone call. We will be happy to answer you. Now, I think I have given you the example there. Think of some subtitles, write them in the chat box. Think of another title that you may be able to write. Now, this is where your work actually comes important. So now I have taken inequality. So can you think of another title, another thing that you may want to write? And then we will discuss it for a little while. Okay, so could somebody start the ball rolling? Inequalities impacts, yes, of course. What are the impacts? What can we think of when we talk about the impacts? Can somebody write something there? Shahiba, that's very good, I think. Motivation, yeah, why not? Right. So we've got types of motivation, and we can break down motivation into let's say little subtitles, and then under each subtitle you can talk about something to do with motivation, right? What kind of motivation you're talking about? Is it I mean, I don't know much about motivation because let me see, are you talking about extrinsic motivation or intrinsic motivation, or to do with, if it is intrinsic motivation, what are the types of intrinsic motivation? What are the types of extrinsic motivation? Or is it a positive motivation, right? Criticism in workplace. Yeah. So, these are some of the titles that you can actually think of. And especially, when you're writing your article, please make sure that you take up a problem or something that is actually a concern for you so that you can write well. All right? I can see some people have their mics on, and just in case, it might create an interference. So unless you want to speak, you can actually switch it off, I guess. Okay, right. So here are some criticism in the workplace. How do we criticize people? Can we think of something? So criticism, under criticism in the workplace, you will have some subtitles. Can you guess one of those things? Anybody? The different types of, yes, of course. So can we name some? Can we think of some? We may not be experts on this, but we can think of some. So when you are making, when you are criticizing someone, what are the things that you will be looking for? Anything to do with criticism? Criticism of appearance, yes. Performance, yes. Consequences also we could include, yes. What about appearance? What can you say about appearance? Disapproval? Yes, of course. So I think you guys are very fast. Thank you very much. How they dress? Yes, of course. We always think, how people dress, right? Of course, religious views are very important, especially, how people actually dress, whether it is socially acceptable, whether it is religiously, right? Educational background, of course. So all of those things. So, when you're talking about criticizing, all of these headings will actually come under. So if you're writing an assignment, if you're writing your article, so you can actually bring it into the limelight. Quality of work, socio-economic status. Yes, well, that's a big term. I mean, I really don't know what this is. What is the meaning of the socio-economic status? Can somebody elaborate on it? How to handle criticism? Yes. Solutions? Yeah. Yeah. So all of those things, and I think you people are very vocal, and that's all we need. Okay. And just as you're writing, I think, you can also try and have a word, try and speak. That also will be very, very positive. And, we can actually get on from there, right? Okay, let us move on. Right. Now, here is one. When you look at an article, the reason why you want to read something, the reason why you want to find out, the two places that you will be looking into would be the introduction and also the conclusion. So please take a look. Everything important goes in the introduction and conclusion. Readers will skim through the introduction and conclusion. These two sections contain unmissable points, meaning that things that shouldn't be missed. So I'll just get back to what important information would appear in the introduction and conclusion. Write your answers in the chat box. So first, let us consider what are you going to write in the introduction. Later, we will actually go on to the conclusion. Okay, so what do you think, you should write in the introduction? Introduction of your article, introduction of your assignment, introduction of your thesis. What are you going to write in the introduction? What do you think? What are the components? Define the main topic, yes, of course. And what about the main topic? What you have covered in the main body? Of course, yes.
So,
Right.
if it is a research paper, so in the introduction, there should be a summary of the whole paper, and also the key terms should be like shortly defined in the introduction. And so basically the reader should get the idea about the paper when they read the introduction. So if it is a research paper, so I guess it should be the introduction should be like that.
Yes, I think that's well said. But let us hear from somebody else. Yeah, it's support of the background information of the topic. Yes, of course. So in the introduction, what you write is, if it were a research paper, is as I have heard from now, Shaiba, what you need to...
I missed one thing, and I think the flow, how the paper will go on. So the flow also should be mentioned in the introduction, isn't it?
Oh yes, yeah. What has followed what? Yeah, okay. So basically, that's a very good thing. Of course, when we open a paper, the first thing that you read about is the background. But have you ever thought of when you write the introduction? Any idea when you write it? Background information. When do you write it, by the way?
In the main body, or?
Yeah, right. Now, the introduction, of course, appears in the first, right? It's the one that you begin with. All right. But when do you write that introduction? When do you write the introduction?
So if it is a research paper, so I think we will write the introduction after the abstract, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, okay. I don't know whether I am making it to myself clear or not. Say, when you start writing something, when you start writing a letter in the way, of course, you know what, you start off with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. That's the first thing that you write. But when you're writing a research paper, you start off with the first thing that you see is the introduction. And in the introduction, you have the background, you have the statement of the problem, you have the research question, you have the significance, you have the justification, and so on and so forth. But when do you write that? Now, so far you have said that at the beginning. After finishing the document, yeah. See, there's a controversial issue here. So one person is saying that the introduction should be written after you finish the assignment, and the other person is saying it should be written the first thing. So anyway, what? Yeah.
I think actually, even though it is placed at the beginning, we have to write it. It's best written after you complete the main body so that you have an idea of what you have already written.
Right. Yeah, very good. Yeah, right. Okay. So I think, you know, you have all been very vocal. It's been very nice that, you know, you're just putting forward your opinions and what you understand. To my understanding, I think, you know, what you need to do is, because if you write the introduction first, then when you follow the essay to the end, you know, there might be some of the important points that you actually miss in your article. So therefore, to prevent that, what you do is, you know, you write the introduction after you complete your essay, so that, you know, you can go back from point one to the last point, and then, you know, mention it. It's just a kind of a summary of what you have actually done. In the introduction, you know, what you write is something like what you did and how you did it, and what was done and what was the result. So basically, that's what we are talking about. That's very good, people. That's really very good. So I think you should know that you should have a mind that when you talk about the introduction would be the last thing that you write. It would be the sort of, I wouldn't say the chapter, but, you know, it would be the last bit of information that you're going to put in, so that, you know, you can actually comfortably go through the assignment and then, you know, put in all the nitty-gritties, you know, that had actually gone into to write your assignment. Okay, so I hope it's clear. Okay, now what about the conclusion? What do you write in the conclusion, though? Any ideas?
Summarize what you have talked about.
Yes, obviously. So it's actually a summary of what you had actually talked. There's nothing new there. Please do not bring anything new, because you finish your article, you finish your assignment. Please do not bring anything new. So in short, this is what you've done, right? Just to sum up, you know, that's what you need to do. And I really hope that if you do have any queries regarding your assignments, we can actually help you. So let me actually put forward saying that, yeah, summarize the key argument, of course, what has been put in there, and in a nutshell, you put what you've done there. Yeah, okay, you know, that's very good. All right. So say it, never just say you will say it. Now, this may be a little bit of a difficult thing to explain or maybe express. Now, I have actually written in the introduction or the abstract or the conclusion, instead of saying this essay is going to critically evaluate, say that this paper critically evaluates, and then write the subtitles under and elaborate on. Now, I wonder if you do have any difficulties there. It is fairly straightforward, and because here what we are trying to say is that there might be some ambiguous terms. When you use a word or a set of words or phrases, make sure that in academic writing, they're always defined. There's always clarity. Try to bring clarity there. So that's what we are, mainly concerned in writing academic discourse. Whatever genre it is, make sure that you always have a head for clarity, making sure that you check what you write, and you can even show it to a colleague, show it to a friend. Say, what do you get from this? Is it clear? Have I made myself clear? So this is something that you can actually always keep tabs on. Make sure that you check on, and that is very, very useful. So now, let us say that this assignment is going to critically evaluate. Say this paper critically evaluates, and then write the subtitles under the the assignment, and then go on, and that will be it. So that you have actually used the information that is required for you to put in there. Okay, now let us take a look at some subsections. As we have said, we are going to go through this. Here, I've just taken, one of the things that you might actually be doing. Some of you may be doing a research, doing some research on something, and in that case, of course, you will have your research question, and in the chapter 1, and then chapter 2, of course, according to some researchers, the literature review is the second one. So let us take a look at what we are going to be doing here. If you have subsections, they should be explained with introductory remarks. If you have 1.1, there should be a 1.2 with a separate heading, because 1.1 is different from 1.2. So let's assume that you are doing a literature review, and let us assume that this literature review is the second chapter, because some people might, some authors might write the literature review maybe the fourth chapter, or maybe, I don't know, it just goes on, and then there are different thinkers on this. So let us say this is just one way of writing it. So the main heading is literature review here, and 2.1 you're going to be writing the introduction. So in the introduction you describe what about your related literature, what about related research, right? Okay, and similar research. Now, related literature is, of course, you might actually want to blend this into 2.3 and 2.2, maybe 1. And of course, 2.5, you go to theoretical framework and also the conceptual framework. So, you could actually sort of, I think, you can actually delete 2.4 so that we will have 2.5, because similar research and related research is, I would say, the same thing. So, but under any heading, under, related research, you will be reading articles regarding your research question, and, your findings, what you find in the literature, what other people have written about your research question. That is related literature or related research. And then, in similar research, what you are going to do is there anybody who has written something similar to your research question? Or are there people who have done, just think of one or two, and then, put that also in the literature review. So for all this, you will need, let us say, a subheading. And of course, you will need literature. Whatever you read, make sure that you will put in literature, the good references. That is something that is needed. And we will be thinking about going into references pretty soon. And then, of course, we have the theoretical framework. Now, whenever you write something, there's always a theory. Most often, rather than reinventing the wheel, when we write something, there are a set of ideas, set of beliefs that have been actually going on around for a very, very long time. So in the last class, I think, I was talking to you about, whether I remember or not, we're talking about how do we learn things, right? Maybe, we learn things from, the classroom, formal teaching, formal learning. And then we also have informal learning. Also, you learn something simple, or maybe you learn something very complex, not only because a teacher is there in front of you with chalk and board, but there are other instances where you learn, what shall I say, depending on the circumstance and the time. In the Maldives, we say that boat building has been in the Maldives for a very long time, right? From, let us say, time immemorial, we had this boat building. But who teaches us? We don't even have a blueprint. We don't even have a drawing, right? The main carpenter or the Maori person, he would just go into this warehouse built for, construction of that vessel, and they would bring a lot of, logs and maybe coconut palm logs, and they will just begin. It doesn't have a drawing, but however they do it, it always is good. And the learners, the people who are there, youngsters, they learn by seeing others doing it. And this is social learning. And one of the key people in social learning is, of course, Albert Bandura, and you may have heard. So that's the theory. And if you think of your conceptual framework, what exactly are you doing in your assignment? So all the concepts that you will be using to answer the question will be your conceptual framework. And if you do have any difficulties, if you do have any queries, trying to put these pieces together, we are, of course, there to help you. So let us hope, do we have any questions regarding, how to write this, let's say, pointing out, giving numbers and all that? Do we have any difficulties there? Please write your answers in your chat box. You can always speak if you want to. Anybody? Or is it too complicated? Is it too difficult? It's clear. Yeah, Ulfa, thank you. We would like to have some more opinions, right? Nina, that's wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, okay. It's I would say, very good responses. And let us actually move on. Okay, let us consider this. Figure captions. When you think about insert in diagrams or illustrations in your assignments. Most often, depending on the type of research, you might want to put in something there, you know, a graph or a chart. Okay, in that case, figure captions should be labeled with a number with a description of the title. So let us take a look at what is there. Here's the gaseous composition of dry air. So now, when you think about our atmosphere, the atmosphere comprises gases. And you're explaining that, right, percentage-wise. So I had actually taken this from Tech Engineering 2021, and I have actually given here figure 2. This is the second figure. The second figure says gaseous composition of dry air. So whenever you want to put in a graph, an illustration, a drawing, or anything, sometimes you might want to put in, let us say that, you know, you are drawing your literature, and I'm sure, you know, you will want to put in the theoretical framework and also the conceptual framework as a diagram. So please make sure that, you know, you actually label the diagram, you know, properly. I mean, there's nothing wonderful there. Figure captions, you know, it really doesn't mean, you know, something that's very difficult. It really means that, you know, you need to label these things that you give. And let us hope that you're clear about this. Let's see if there's anybody who would like to ask a question. Right? Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
I have one question.
Yes.
When you insert a figure, and I think you have written and the source where you have taken it, Tech Engineering, right? 2021. Is that the name of the book? And if we take from a website, what should we write there?
It's not actually a book. Because if you taken it from a book, then, you know, you should actually write, let us say that, you know, you take some, let's say Anita Woolfolk, right? Who had written extensively on psychology. From that book, you know, there are even cartoons, there are figures. If you take from her book, you say, okay, Woolfolk, 2011, and that will be it. Because most often what we do is, unless, you know, it might be an article or it might be a blog or anything, but if there's something that is important that you want to put in there, you can actually take it and then give the source and then put in there. But most often in a thing like this, you know, as you have seen in the my presentation here, I had actually taken it off the internet and then, you know, given credit to the corporate author that had written it, because it's not actually there is no name of a person mentioned there. So it's just, it can be a university, it can be another organization. So once, you know, you learn it, then you put it there so that, you know, you are safe, because you're not actually plagiarizing. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Any more questions regarding the same? Yeah, it is a reference. Yes, it is sort of. Let us say that's an in-text, you know, reference, because, you know, it appears in the text. Because if I want to put in the reference page, you know, there will be a different story. So because, you know, there are two types of references. One is in text, and the other is in the reference page. So we will come to that later. And if you do have any queries, of course, you can always ask. Okay, word level issues. When you think of some words, they may be very good at when we are speaking to one another. But some of those words may not actually be that clear when you actually put them in your assignment. For example, avoid ambiguous references, something like words such as this, these, pronouns. They are meaningful, but in writing, you need to be cautious, extra cautious in using pronouns or maybe any other word that you might actually can think of. For example, let's take a look at this. His argument does not hold water. Who is he? What argument? Right? So let us take a look at this, nice little caption for a while. His argument does not hold water. Let us see what you can think of. Would you like to write some answers? Anybody? Kind of fun. Well, okay. I'm actually still waiting for some people to give a reply. His argument on the constituency of water. Let us. I think it's a kind of an expression rather than a straightforward statement. It's not. It doesn't appear to be a straightforward statement. It's a little bit different. So, who is he? Can we answer that question? Can you write your answers in the chat box? Who is this he?
Could you show the question again?
His argument does not hold water. That's the question. Who is he and what does it mean? You want me to go back to the original one? Safa?
Yes, please.
Okay. Here it is. His argument does not hold water. So, of course, if I'm on the screen, I might not actually be able to see what you have, what you have written. He is unknown. Yeah. And the argument is also unknown. Yes, Nina, exactly. So, we need to be clear about who is this he. Now, in academic writing, when we mention he or she, we need to know who this he or she is. For example, you can say, yeah, the person expressing his point of view. Yeah, sure. But we need to know who that person is. So let us say that, this article is written by you. You're taking that information from a person called Suleiman. Right? Okay. The first time you mention, you would say, yes, of course, it should be mentioned. Yeah, that is how you should write in academic discourse. So most often, some people, no, I wouldn't say most often, but there are some students, who might actually be a little bit easygoing on this kind of writing, because this is the reason why you need to check to find out whether you have done the right thing, and that is why you need to go back and forth always to ensure that what you have written is correct. Okay, so let us say that, this Suleiman writes an article. He argues on something. He says that it doesn't hold water, does not hold water. What does it mean, does not hold water? Normally in academic writing, we probably don't want to use that kind of, metaphorical expressions and...
It means the argument is not valid.
Exactly, yes. So you can say that, Suleiman's argument on to say that, the world is flat.
It doesn't carry any weight.
It does not carry any weight, yes. So you can say because there are so many people who are written against it, or they're refuting his idea. So that is the kind of thing. You, in other words, say it. Okay, make sure that you say it. That is it. So that is all there is to it when you write academically. Okay. Right? That's cannot be supported or disagree. Maybe sometime. Yeah, it can happen. Very well done, people. Okay. So here again, read over anything you write, because if you read it over and over again, it probably will dawn on you after some time. Well, there is something that I don't like about it. There's something that is missing. There's something that I had not actually put right. So this is the reason why when you're given an assignment, make sure that you of course write right, people. Now it's a request from Yasir that he would like your emails separately. So please send him your emails. Okay, and of course you know his number, don't you? And you know his email. Please send it to him.
Musa.
Yeah.
I was just asking for the email addresses of those who had to be admitted separately, so that I can have them invited as guests for the next session.
All right. Okay. I think they okay. I will do that. Okay. Yeah. Right. Sorry for misunderstanding. Yeah. Okay. So let us see that if you use the word he, and that if there are three gentlemen, three people, there are three males, then you must ensure which he you are referring to. Of course, just say there's Ahmad, there's Musa, there's Adam. Who are you talking about? Improve the following sentence. After receiving the Covishield vaccination, he died suddenly. What can you write? How are you going to improve this sentence?
He died after receiving the Covishield vaccination.
He died after receiving the Covishield. Yeah. Okay. Who? Mr. Adam. All right. Can you improve that? Can you improve on Adam, please? Suppose it is the Maldives. Which Adam?
We can highlight his address or job title or anything.
Sure.
Can we?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Adam Zahir. Yeah. Okay. Where is he from?
We can tell an island, like any island.
Yeah. Okay. Adam Muhammad ID card number. Yes, of course. That probably will give you. Will sum up. All the important information. And of course, sometimes when we write titles in newspapers, they become catchphrases, because you say that 500 people became positive with coronavirus on the 14th of February, and then you read it, you find out it's not the Maldives, it's somewhere else. So maybe, you know, they are doing something to sell the paper. They're making it sort of a little bit more intriguing to ensure that it's written like that so that more people will read. You can be more specific. The full name, age, and island, maybe. Yeah, sure, Alpha. That's very well done, I think. So this is how when we write. But you see, when you're writing academic discourse, it goes against some of the rules that, you know, if you for the sake of doing something, you put the name, real name of the person. Let us say there's somebody who's suffering from autism, and then, you know, you're doing a research on something, and then, you know, your participants, you need to make sure that, you know, they are actually sort of, what shall I say, kept, you know, confidential. After receiving COVID vaccination, Arun Zahir, Kaf Male, died. Yeah, very good. Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. After inoculating COVID-19. Yeah, right. Some of you know big words as well, right? Yeah, that's very good. Okay, let us...
Can you show the slide once again? Thank you.
Yeah, this lesson is being recorded, I guess. All right, can I go back to the next slide? People?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I think, you know, right, watch out for homonyms. Now, this is where some of us get into difficulties. I mean, I find it difficult. I'm not that good, so I find it difficult. See, can spell checkers identify whether these words are used in the right place? In the right places? Let us think of these two words, its and its. What does it mean by this its without an apostrophe and its with an apostrophe? Can you think of it? But there are quite a few, and I think, you know, you can actually go through it even after the class. But this, for the sake of having a little bit of understanding on this, what's the difference between its without an apostrophe and its without with an apostrophe? Any idea?
So, actually, with the apostrophe means there's a contraction, and the other one is a possessive, right?
Yes. Yeah, right. Of course. Of course, that's it. Okay, what about discrete and discrete? This double ET and RETE. Pretty quickly, because it's nearing 6 o'clock now. What can you write there? Double ET and ET, discrete? Is it too difficult? This is really interesting because homonyms, you know, can actually give you a hard time. Okay, effect and effect. Anybody? discrete and distinct. Oh no, it's discrete and it's the two words are pronounced the same. It's not distinct. It's see, discrete and double ETN RETE. What do you think? Maybe the difference there. Jalala, that's wonderful. Effect means influence and effect means the result. Yes, exactly. Say, you know, he was affected by, you know, smoking, right? The effect of smoking was cancer or something. Yeah, good. Okay. What about, I would like to explain discrete and discrete here. You know, something that is discrete here means being polite or nice, you know, but here discrete actually means kind of different, right? You know, and here is SITE site, CITE site, and SIGHT site. What do you think may be the differences there? Could we write something? Discrete means individually separate and distinct. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's right, Nina. That's right. Something that is distinct. But double ET, discrete means, what does it mean? So suppose, you know, you're writing an article and then, you know, if you miss, you know, the meaning of these two words, then, you know, you can get into difficulties. Site location, site reference, and site vision. Yeah, Lofa, that's wonderful. It's very good. These things are not difficult, I guess. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Advice, and that's advice, SENCE, and practice, SEN. Oh, I had made a mistake there. So one of them should be SE and the other should be CE, even for practice. So let us see who would like to get us an answer. What's the difference between ADVISE and ADVICE advice? Noun and verb, yes, wonderful. Yeah, right, okay. So advice means I advise you to stop smoking, that should be SE. And I'm going to give you some good advice regarding, you know, smoking. Very good. The principal and principal, PAL and PLE.
PLE means that's the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And the PAL, that's the person, the head of the school.
All right. Okay. Wonderful. Yes. And what about this one? Loose and loose. LOSC loose, LOOSC loose. No.
Loose is when it is like a little bit bigger for you.
Mm-hmm.
LOOSC.
Mm-hmm.
And lose means like losing something.
Yeah, right. So, you know, if you're wearing a shirt that's too big for you, that's loose, isn't it? Very good, right? And what about the last one? Accomplish and accomplice.
We call it
The second one is like someone who was a part of you when doing something, and the first one is accomplishing something. You basically complete doing something.
Mm-hmm. So the second one is, could you repeat it, please?
Someone who was there with you to do something. Kind of.
Something, right?
Like an accomplice to do something.
Yeah, especially if it's something bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right. Okay. Right, good. Yes, very good, people. And we come to the last slide, and it's exactly 6 o'clock. And see, make sure that you are cautious with these words. Comprise actually means consists of, or consists of, or consists of, or mainly used without a preposition. What does this word mean? The word point is a single item. So there is no half a point or, 3/4 of a point. Avoid using a research. There is no such thing as a research, because research is a noun that is collectively used. So you don't say researchers, but in many writings we might actually find this. And lastly, avoid capitalization. When in doubt, always use the lowercase. Now, let's say Department of Computer Science is very different from a computer science department. So, unless it is a proper noun, please use lowercase. So I think with that remark, I'm going to finish off. But before you leave, please actually write in the chat box that I am present, everybody, so that I can make a note and then, present it to the concerned people.
Excuse sir.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
want
madam.
to join to another class. I want to know more about references, how to write, how to more about references.
Yeah. Okay. Is somebody else teaching it?
Currently, no.
Okay. So we can help you. Don't worry.
Musa,
Yeah.
can I just put in? We'll be starting referencing sessions for UV referencing next week. All the new students will be invited to the sessions through the faculties, and we'll conduct them over week 4 and week 5. Okay, and we'll have the recordings as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Yasir, for enlightening the students. Has
Sir,
everybody?
I-
Yeah. Okay, Salim. Nina, yeah. What is it?
About the last one, our reference, so we cannot write our reference, right? What can we say?
A research.
Yes.
It's not a reference. A research, right? Give
Sorry,
reference. Yeah. Right. You can say that. Rather than saying a research, you say research. This research. Okay.
Okay.
So that is the kind of thing that. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So has everybody been present? Because I'm going to stop recording, and I'm stopping it now. I have stopped recording, and